All right. We are ready to rock and roll. We are live. Thank you all for your patience. I know we were running a little bit behind this morning, but we were having some internet issues. We're back to normal. I want to introduce you to my good friend, Scott Solari with RealSynch, another Inside the Integration where we go over who, what, and how do these integrations work with Follow Up Boss. So, Scott, thank you for your patience this morning, and thanks for hanging out with me today.
Of course, anything for you, Janelle. Anything.
You.
I'm happy to be here.
I am happy you're here.
Yeah.
All right, so what we're going to do is we always dive into the who. I want you to introduce yourself, tell me about the business, share the story of the company, how it started, where the idea originate, were there any pain points that you were looking to solve for? Talk to me about that.
Yeah. So we've been in business, RealSync's been in business for since 2017. Basically, the pain in the industry was most systems, not Follow Up Boss, but most systems didn't have APIs or didn't connect to anything. And there was this huge, like, not only opportunity, but also like I said, pain point to solve the problem of integration and connection, right? And so we started down that path and built a middleware platform, kind of like a custom Zapier. And we integrated to a lot of different applications and CRMs in the space. And Follow Up Boss always was one that we connected to the most because uh, early on, I think Dan made a decision that he's going to be a very open solution and always prioritize the API and connectivity to other applications and integration, right? So it made sense, had the most robust API, and you could do the most with Follow Up Boss, and especially as they enhanced the CRM over time, made it more customizable. There's just a lot more happening with Follow Up Boss and all the other CRMs in the space, and that's and most of them know that, right? It's not, it is what it is, right? Um, Follow Up Boss always was just a CRM, not like a CRM and a website. So there was a big differentiator with them in the space, and that's why they are where they are. I think, to be honest with you,
Yeah.
but we really wanted to connect with Follow Up Boss to other applications and just be this solution that's kind of electricity in the walls in the sense, and enable you know applications like we over time we enabled structurally, and we enabled Zillow at one point, and we enabled Sisu and Fellow, all these apps that a lot of people are using. We were behind the scenes at first, and then a lot of times these companies will go and build direct integration. So that's kind of how we fit in. And honestly, my business partner, he struggled with this in his business specifically because he used Salesforce to connecting to stuff, and so that's kind of where the business came from.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome. I know
yeah,
you're doing a lot of cool things, which I'm sure you're going to get to.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
but talk to us about the what. So, what does RealSync do? I know you touched on it. You're kind of the plug that connects all of these different ones together. But what are the core features of what RealSync actually does?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, um, so I think, when I think about, like, I've been on thousands and thousands and thousands of calls with real estate agents. I don't know how I'm not fucking crazy by now, excuse my language. But yeah, so as I go through these consults with the real estate agent or team or whatever, like, I try to think about like what we're solving, right? And the reality is we're solving the disconnect of manual data entry or automation, in the sense of, like, I'm using this system over here and the data is kind of on an island. I don't know how to get it out into Follow Up Boss, let's say, or get Follow Up Boss data into this system specifically because there's not a direct integration. I have to maybe use these other tools, or I got to use RealSync, or I got to use Zapier or Make or some custom webhooks, or it's got to be, that's kind of the what is, like, I'm on these calls and it's almost it's crazy to me that it's always something different, and I haven't even heard of it before, and because there's so many problems with this in the space. And so that's what we're solving that discrepancy of you know trying to, like, get your agents to have this behavior change and have to, like, manually enter data into multiple systems is a bad thing, right? And that's the problem they're solving, and that's how we come in and we solve that problem by streamlining data from one system to another, so there's not that manual process, right? And as technology's improved over the last 8 years, it's allowed us to do a lot more, not only in our own solution, but also with our services that we offer to help just real estate teams, solve these random problems,
So you mentioned teams a couple times. Do you work
Yeah.
with single agents or is this really more primarily for teams?
We do work with single agents, absolutely. The reason I mentioned teams is because they tend to have more systems
Yeah.
that they've brought into their stack, which
Mhm.
obviously complicates things, right? And that's where we come in. A lot of times, a single agent might just be using Follow Up Boss, a website, and maybe one other system. So there's not as much like happening with their tech, or they don't have as many problems with it. But we do help single agents as well. And, we work with, uh, broker owners that have, 300 seats on Follow Up Boss, right? So anything in between is will help you if you have the need and the problem,
Perfect. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about I know there's a big one. I don't know if we're going to talk about it, but what's some of the features that you want to talk about to everyone listening today?
Well, so one of the big things that we've been hearing for years, and we just didn't get around to solving it, but we have recently, is an integration with dot loop and skyslope into Follow Up Boss, right? And streamlining that process for the admins within your team or even a solo agent. We've had solo agents sign up for this, which is awesome too,
Ah,
right? And it just becomes this process. And so we solve that problem, right? And I heard it over and over and over again in my calls, Janelle, people being like, man, if I can just because they have to have this data in dot loop or skyslope, maybe for their broker. There's all sorts of reasons why they have to use these systems.
yeah.
So they're not just using Follow Up Boss for their transaction management, right? They have to have that data somewhere else. And so there wasn't a solution, right? And we went and solved that. So I'm super excited about it. We also can do it from Follow Up Boss. I know some people are actually getting on calls with me right now because they want to like create offers from Follow Up Boss in real time into dot loop. We could do that as well. But the main integration is you create a loop and it creates a deal on that agent, brings over all the data into the deal card. And then as you move the loop, it moves the deal through the pipeline until it's closed. And you don't have to touch the deal pipeline,
Mm-hmm.
right? For you or for your agents. So you can imagine the relief it could be for an administrator that maybe is on a team of 20 agents where they're having to do the loops, maybe and the deals in FUB, or they're expecting the agents to do it, which
Yeah.
we know what type of burden that could be because their focus isn't that, right? Their
Mhm.
focus is at the end, making sure it closes so they get paid. But
Yeah.
everything up into that point is, they're trying to prospect and create more deals and put more things in the pipeline, right? So a lot of times there's that manual or human error, or you just forget, right? Because it's there's a lot going on, right? So this solves that problem to where it's just do it in dot loop, it's done in Follow Up Boss, and then you have this streamline of data happening. And yeah, it's awesome.
It is awesome because this is something that has been a need for as long as I've known. I've been with Follow Up Boss almost 4 years.
Yeah.
Something I've been hearing about. Um, so talk to me for agents who might not understand how this all works. We're still going to be able to create automations as they move them through the deals, through the
Of
pipe. Those automations will still be triggering through FUB, correct?
Yeah, yeah. And it could be any pipeline you have in FUB, right? Because you can create custom pipelines. Now, most people, from what I've seen, use maybe three pipelines, right? Some sort of seller or buyer pipeline, and then maybe a recruiting pipeline.
Mhm.
Uh, Recently, with the, having to get a buyer agreement, some people consider that not a transaction, right? So they're considering that as like an agreement with a buyer, which is a lead type thing, and then it's not going into that actual buyer pipeline until you get, a deal essentially pending, right? Um, but yeah, so like those are tend to be the pipelines, and if you have automation associated with those deals, like all that works the same. Like it doesn't mess with what you're doing. That's the nice thing.
Yeah.
It just removes that manual step that you have to do that, which is which is super exciting, right? So, and it's like, you know, the thing with this too is, so people have gone to college and they're like, oh wait, you guys are using Zapier. So what we've done, and I want to make this clear, is like you can't go sign up for Zapier and do what we're doing. It does not work. And the reason for that is we have a custom integration from our proprietary RealSynch integration platform to Zapier.
Mm.
Okay. So what we do is we run dot loop in to our platform. Then we run it through a Zapier webhook that we've connected to, which allows us to enable all of Follow Up Boss's API, not just what's available in the Zaps, right? Like if you went from Follow Up Boss to Zap. So it
Right.
wouldn't work, right? So that's why you have like you'd have to come use our solution. It's very custom coded, right?
Yeah.
We just use multiple solutions. We use our platform and Zapier's webhooks.
Okay. That makes
Yeah.
sense. I know
Yeah.
sometimes with Zaps, the more Zaps you use, the more expensive it gets too. So I was thinking
Yeah.
that's where we're going with that, but this is something completely different with the webhook. So
Yeah, yeah. And we like if you work with us, like we absorb that cost, right? We actually make it more affordable than if you went and did, especially if you're a bigger team. It's
Mhm.
more affordable to just do it with us because we have like, you know, 100 people on our Zap account with folders for each, you know,
Yeah.
each client, right? So it's, you know, it's like a you're everyone's paying into that Zap account, so it's way more affordable for everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So this sounds like there is a lot of setup involved. Talk to me about what that looks like. Are you doing it? Is the client doing it? What's up?
Oh, I'm definitely not doing it. The client's not doing it. My service director is doing it, Amanda. And what's great is we're not charging people for the setup, which we could charge them a couple billable hours, but we're
Yeah.
not doing it. We just want people to use it, want to keep it affordable, and yeah, so the setup, you know, she'll basically get access to your API key from FUB, and then if it's on our Zap account, we just basically get dot loop, your dot loop connection or sky slope, and then your Follow Up Boss API key, and make the magic happen. So you don't have to really understand it, which is fine. As far as like, you know, there's 300 different things that possibly could happen through this connection, right? You don't need to understand all that. All you need to understand is how it performs. And the idea is when we're doing the setup, it's like, all right, what stage do you start your loop at? Okay, we'll match that. Like which pipeline and Follow Up Boss do you want to connect it to? We match that, and then each stage we match as we're building it out. So it is a little custom for you, which is nice. Not just like you have to do it this way in dot loop and you have to do it this way in Follow Up Boss. I always hated that with certain integrations. Even we had something like that back in the day, and it was really frustrating because it would force the client to use their systems differently than how they want to use their systems. We don't want to do that anymore. We want you to use dot loop the way you want to use it. We want you to use Follow Up Boss the way you want to use it, and we'll fit the integration in between to match how you use those two systems.
Perfect. That's
Yeah.
great. All right. Is there any other great features that I also might want to hear about?
Yes.
All
There
right.
is one more thing. So, to be completely transparent, most people in here probably don't want to pay for integration, right? They don't value it a lot. And I get it. That's the way it's been forever. So, over time, we realized, well, hey, we're building all these integrations. Let's build a solution that the agent or the team could actually use as well visually and see their data. So we built a business intelligence solution that we integrated custom with Follow Up Boss, and it integrates with QuickBooks.
Mm,
Okay, so you can get your financial data into it too, and
okay.
it's awesome. And this again, the principle we kept with this is the same thing I just mentioned, that the integration with Follow Up Boss is custom to how you use Follow Up Boss, right?
Mm,
So if some people are using tags for, you know, deal pipeline stages for whatever reason, you shouldn't be doing that, by the way. Don't do that. That's not the right way to use tags. Okay. I will literally train you for free on how to use Follow Up Boss if you want. Don't use tags for pipeline stages. Anyway, if you're doing that though, we did custom build the integration to where we can get the data from Follow Up Boss into our business intelligence solution if you're using Follow Up Boss that way. However, there is recommended ways to use it, like, you know, when you set an appointment, you should use the appointment feature in Follow Up Boss. It's very robust.
yeah.
There's also, you could have custom appointment types. surprising how many people don't know that. Also, you can have custom outcomes with your appointments. Amazing. Look at all this customization you can do. And we can get that data based on those. You can have multiple outcomes and multiple appointment types. We can get all that into our business intelligence solution. Additionally, obviously, whatever pipeline you're using for your deal tracking, we can get into our business intelligence solution. So what's really cool is, Janelle, is we're getting a lot of clients set up with the dot loop, automatically flowing that into the deals.
Hmm.
And then the deals are flowing right into our BI solution. And then you have these visual
Wow, okay.
data dashboards and reports that you can see all your transaction data and your KPIs. We have some at-risk type stuff in there, which is really cool, like when things might be slipping through the cracks. You know, you have your leaderboards and your agent KPIs in production, lead source ROI, all this stuff. We made it real simple to see, because as much as we love Follow Up Boss, the reporting can be, you know, you got to jump around a lot, right? It's a little complicated, which is, it is what it is, right? It's not necessarily a reporting tool. It's a
Yeah.
CRM, right? So we kind of made it simple to where you can have this as well. So you have this streamline of integration and data that's all custom into this dashboard where you can see it. So we're really excited about that. We've been, you know, getting clients on it slowly
Mhm.
as we roll it out, but we love it, and we're excited about the long-term roadmap and being able to really give people an understanding of like how you read, you know, you read between the lines with your data, right? It's like you see your data, but how do I take action on it? Like what's actually happening with it? How do I improve my business with the data that I have? And that's what we're really going for with this tool over time.
Yeah, and that's the reporting is such an, I think, in a lot of instances, an underused feature that just teams are not really focusing as much as they could. And what you focus on is where you can grow. So that seems like an
Yeah.
incredible feature. And it's already rolled out, you said? People are already
Yep.
using it. And do agents have access to this, or is this something that only the admin would be really needing to focus on?
So great question. So right now it's, you know, owner, admin have access. So it's like an overview of the business for them. We have an app that you can download as an agent.
Oh, nice.
Or no, I mean as the owner. The agent app is in progress.
Okay,
So
cool.
every agent will have an app eventually, right? And the idea with the agent app is your KPIs, things you got to focus on, like potential leads that are falling through the cracks, or deals, excuse me, and then new leads too, like things that you gotta like, you know, call immediately because it had been assigned to you and it's like, you know, it's slipping.
Yes.
And then we also built in this AI virtual assistant, which is really cool.
Sweet.
Yeah, and so I would demo it right now, but it tends to like get a little wonky through Zoom. So it
Oh,
works really well on your desktop. But basically it's a she, even though
okay.
it's an AI, it's a she.
Yeah.
Um, you can ask it, hey, like who's my best performing agent? And she will literally go through everything in the dashboard and give you a summary, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so what's really nice about it is she actually will compare to like NAR stats and like anything on the internet. And over time, it's the way that we visualize this working for teams is when you log into the owner dashboard, it'll pop up and give you kind of a summary since the last time you've been in.
Hmm.
So you know exactly what's happened in your business, and there'll be recommendations.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's really cool, man.
Screen
So
share, plug it into the comment section under this video, just to
yeah,
like
I will.
so everyone can see. That'd be neat.
Yeah, I'll drop a little demo of it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, we're working on that today, which is great. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
This was super helpful for me too. I mean, I've known you for a couple years, but this was even a nicer look inside of what this all does. So
Yeah.
thank you for that information. If anybody does have any questions for you, where can we direct them?
Realsync.com. And that's synch.com. When we were getting the domain, SYNC was a lot of money, so we didn't buy it. Then we add the H. Fun little fact.
Love that. Yeah.
If you watch the video to this point and you tell me that fun fact, I'll give you a discount when you sign up.
Oh, wow. Okay. That was the
All
goal.
right.
There's two people watching right now, so they're gonna lose
There you go. Let those people get the discount. Um,
weight.
but yeah, and then Scott@realsync.com. You can email me. And honestly, Janelle, I've been working with real estate agents and teams since 2012. Right. And I was with another company called Viral Marketing back in the day, helped build that company. But I just love working with real estate business owners, single agent or a team or whatever. Our whole mantra is we're here to help, right? And anything we can do to help. Obviously, we need to make money too, so we can stay in business.
Right.
But we're here to help the agents and help them do business in a more simple way, easier and more profitable way, right? And so, jump on a call with me, even if it's not a fit. I'd love to talk to you and direct you, put you in the right direction. I obviously know tons of stuff about other apps because we're an integration company first and foremost. So I can always send you in the right direction too to solve whatever problem you're having.
Perfect. Thank you,
Yeah.
Scott. Yeah, he's a plethora of knowledge. Definitely reach out to him. He's active in the community. If you need him, you can tag him. I'm going to also include the link to our Follow Up Boss integration. So that'll give you some more information too. But thank you all for your patience today. Thanks for hanging out with us. And I will see you next time on Inside the Integrations. Bye.
Bye.